Alright everybody, what's up? How's it going? We're keeping this train rolling after our review last week. Welcome back, and if you're new, welcome to the Lazy Ass Samurai YouTube channel. And today I'm happy to bring you my lazy ass review on the latest Mortal Kombat film. So, similar to Mugen Train, similar to Demon Slayer actually, I saw this movie twice. So I feel like I can actually give pretty cohesive and coherent thoughts about it. At least my opinions on it. It's been a little mixed and divided. I've heard people who love it. I've heard people who hate it. I've heard people who are just in between. It's a pretty good time. So, like I said, I'm going to go through the normal criteria where it's things I like, things I didn't like, spoiler territory, if there is any that applies to any given movie, and then finally we're going to give it a number ranking. So, Mortal Kombat. I actually had pretty low expectations going into this film. Mainly because it's not that I didn't think it would be good. It's just that when it comes to when it comes to video game based movies, I don't really expect much out of them, right? Because there've been so many flukes, there've been so many misses, and I mean the originals are pretty iconic, but I mean they're PG-13 and they're a little campy, but they were pretty solid for the time. But I'll tell you what, going into this, I did expect one thing. I did have one expectation from this film, and it is I wanted to see gore. I wanted to see them take this R rating that they gave this movie and push it to their limits, because that's what I heard. I heard that they pushed it as far as they could, borderlining on NC-17 territory. That was a rumor. I don't know the validity of that claim, but now that I've seen the movie, I say it was pretty gory. I feel like it really covered it felt like a Mortal Kombat movie, if that makes sense. So for the things that I liked, that R rating, I feel like couldn't have been done without that R rating. I loved the characters, the way they were portrayed. I love the backstory, like the opening to the film where you get the first couple minutes, I think it was maybe first 7 minutes, where you have like Hanzo and Bi-Han and kind of get that lore going. I really like the gore, the fatalities, the fight scenes. I feel like everything that makes Mortal Kombat being put in this movie was solid. I love the character roster. I mean, there's a pretty substantial character roster when it comes to Mortal Kombat, and this is just the tip of the iceberg, which is also what this movie is. This movie does what I feel like a good job at setting up a pretty solid universe, right? Because this movie has a job, right? It has to appeal to two different demographics, I feel like. So we have the Mortal Kombat fans, people who grew up with it no matter how young or old you are, but grew up with Mortal Kombat and have an understanding of its characters, right? Everyone has their main, right? Everyone has that Mortal Kombat character that they love going to. For me, it's Jax. I rock with my boy Jax, who was in this movie, and I did like him. And then you also have to appeal to the mainstream demographic. Like, we have to get butts into these seats, either in the theater or from HBO Max, which I thought was also pretty cool that I was able to go see this in theaters when it dropped, and then I was able to go home and see it with my family, with my friends and family and my loved ones at home on HBO Max. So I feel like that was cool. They did a good job with the characters. I feel like the casting was solid. I absolutely loved Kano. I'll tell you what, going to this movie, I didn't think he would carry the movie as much as he did, but he carried this movie. This man has a mouth of a sailor, and I love it. I loved all of his scenes, everything he had to say. Everything was cool. I loved Kano. Like I said, fight scenes, the gore, everything was on point. Everything that I wanted out of a Mortal Kombat movie, I feel like I got out of it. Well, I'm not going to mention that until spoiler territory. But in terms of things that I like, that pretty much sums it up. That's what I like about the movie. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but after you see the movie, you'll know what I'm talking about, or at least I hope you know what I'm talking about. But I want to actually give a little more time to the stuff I didn't like. So, moving into things I didn't like, which actually kind of does touch on spoiler territory. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. Or if you have seen it or just don't care, go ahead and stick around. So, I guess, where would I start with this? I understand that they're setting up a whole pretty much franchise at this point. And I know they can do it. With the way they're performing at the box office right now, I know we're going to get at least a couple sequels after this. But I don't like that there wasn't a tournament. I really wanted to see a tournament. I understand that, of course, they're setting this up. There better be a tournament in the sequel because I really wanted a tournament. I did not like Cole. I did not like the character of Cole Young. I don't know if it's just like bias because I'm here for Mortal Kombat characters. I mean, I understand that Cole is kind of our vessel. He's kind of our pilot. Like we are to see this through his eyes. Like, oh my God, what's going on? What is all this? All these markings and all this. I just don't vibe with his character. I don't know. Maybe I just need to see him in another installment, but I just did not like him at all. I was very confused with his family dynamic from the jump because his daughter looks too old to be his daughter, and he looks too old or too young to be her father. So I'm over here thinking that's either his sister or something like that, or his niece, and then his wife comes along, who I thought was either his mother or his sister, and then they kiss, and I'm like, okay, so I think I get the family dynamic by the point in time where his daughter calls him dad. But I just didn't like Cole. I just didn't feel like he fit well into it. And then once he awakened his Arcana, and it was kind of whack because it was like an amalgamation of the golden armor from Wonder Woman, 1984, and Black Panther's kinetic energy armor from the MCU, where he like takes hits and he's able to redistribute that power, which is cool. But he's kind of a punching bag, both literally, and he really couldn't handle any fight on his own, except for Goro. Rest in peace, my boy Goro. I'm kind of salty because Goro's dead. I'm salty because Melina's dead. I know they're not dead forever because this is Mortal Kombat, but I don't know. And I wasn't vibing with Sonya Blade either. I know I said I like the casting, and she was casted well. I just don't like that she didn't really have anything to do until she kills Kano and then gets his marking. And then see that another thing I didn't like is another gripe. Everyone in this movie has to come across their Arcana. They have to discover it. Kano with his laser eye, Cole with his little armor, Jax with his arms. But then Sonya seemingly within the same couple minutes gets her fighter's mark, her chosen one mark from killing Kano, and then she discovers her Arcana. And I'm just kind of like, she just pops up and kills Melina because Cole can't do it himself. And I'm like, well, that's kind of whack. So there's just things like that where I just didn't really care for. I feel like the lore as it stands is solid, but I need to see more characters. I feel like I want more. I'm sorry. I know beggars can't be choosers, but I just want to see more characters. I want to see more. I feel like there could have been more violence. There could have been more fight scenes. I mean, in the end, they fulfilled. You know, it was back to back. Didn't like that they killed Kung Lao. I did not like seeing him die after seeing him perform so many moves from the game. Oh, I forgot to mention that. I really like how they had all those goofy callbacks, like when they would say flawless victory or fatality. Like, I loved it because it wasn't cringy, right? You can either do it one of two ways. It's really funny or it's really cringy. And to me, it was really funny and I enjoyed it. I guess I wanted more fighting out of it. I didn't care for the ending because Sub-Zero went and killed Hanzo's family in the beginning, but he left Cole's family alive in the end. I'm sorry. I didn't care about Cole, so if you killed his family, I really wouldn't have felt any kind of way. I would have felt like that actually would have led to his character development and would have shown that the lineage does have, you know, its downsides. But all in all, that's what I'm saying. There's equal parts things that I like, equal parts I didn't like about it, but the good definitely outweigh the bad. So if I were to give this movie a rating, I would give Mortal Kombat a zesty 7.5 out of 10, right? Because the 7.5 comes from all the stuff I like, and that tiny bit left off from keeping it of being a 10 is just, I wanted more. I really don't like Cole, and I just felt like some things were rushed. For example, Sonya getting her, you know, her powers. But that's pretty much it. That's my review. This might change over time. Like I'm saying, with subsequent installments, I feel like it will get better because they have a really solid groundwork here. But that's pretty much it. Tune in next week where I'm going to be dropping my review of Scott Pilgrim. I know it's late, but it did get re-released for its 10-year anniversary, so I will definitely be giving my review on that. Be sure to follow me. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. And then, of course, follow me on my socials if you're interested, linked in the description below. Thanks for tuning in again, guys. I appreciate it. I really just kind of want to keep this going. So that's what I'm going to do. With that being said, please be sure to stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, stay lazy. I'll catch you guys next time.